Still a long shot, but the Riders have a chance on the final play. Out and down and kicked. Has the accuracy, but it's short.
Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. And we won Labor Day. We won Labor Day. The Bombers get it done in dramatic fashion, putting it lightly. 35-33 victory, and I almost passed out at the end of that game. It was so much going on, but holy crap, there's even a lot going into this game. So Stanley Bryant is still hurt. Drew Wolotarski does come back, though, as well as Adam Bighill. Now, Bighill would get a little roughed up later in the game. We'll have to see what his status is for the Banjo Bowl. But as you can see, I'm just recording this in our hotel here in Saskatchewan. Only just a short walk from Mosaic Stadium. And so don't have all the usual background fancy microphones, so this will have to do. But one of the things I do like was that Saskatchewan, before the game started, did a moment of silence for their former coach who had passed away, Ken Miller. So that was very nice to see them paying tribute to former coach. It was a good thing all around. The Riders would win the coin toss, and at this point, we're about to start. And I hear this guy yelling Bomber stuff, and I'm thinking, who is? And I look over, and the guy, if you saw my video about Labor Day last year, you know, there was a guy in front of us screaming all sorts of things, beat the traffic, beat the traffic, all that stuff. He was there once again today, didn't disappoint. So it was a lot of fun. When they went for the kickoff, I noticed that, I can't remember the player's name. I believe he was number 30 on Saskatchewan wearing the Guardian cap. I'm not going to lie, I expect that in a few years, it's not going to be just him wearing that Guardian cap. And overall, good thing, should be an option. Anything that can keep the players safe, I'm for. And it doesn't get in the way of the play at all. It absolutely does not. So, but at this point, I'm thinking, watch for the onside kick. Saskatchewan last year started the Labor Day Classic with an onside kick. Now, again, this was under a different coaching staff. This was not Corey Mace. This was Dickinson. But they were not going to do it again, as Winnipeg very much knew this, as their kickoff return layout was completely different with those four guys being bumped a little bit forward to ensure that Saskatchewan couldn't get away with any shenanigans like that. But that would start us with the first quarter. Lucky Whitehead would get a good return, or I shouldn't say good return, a decent return. He would return to the 25-yard line. Collares would then get sacked. It'd be a 2-and-out to start. And so it was one of those things where it's like, I want to get that throwing game, get a first down early. So we'll have to see how this goes. But Saskatchewan would then go on offense. There'd be a good knockdown by Willie Jefferson. The Riders go 2-and-out as well. So defense coming in big, not allowing Saskatchewan to get in that rhythm really, really quickly. And then the Bombers would go back on offense. Kenny Lawler would get the first catch of the game. I think Zach, you said that his first catch was on the last drive of last game or something.
Midway through the last drive of the prior game.
Yeah,
first catch
that's what it was.
He had 2 catches.
So good that he was able to get one early tonight. So I was glad to see that. Strevler comes in for short yardage, gets it done. First down, Winnipeg. Dembski would then go offside, but then the Bombers with a long throw down the field. Ontario Wilson with the catch.
Oh! Ontario Wilson!
Great catch by Ontario Wilson to really be able to force that down. Again, kind of two of the key players here with Myers and Wilson being those two receivers who have kind of had those breakout years who've been able to get it done. But another guy that was able to get it done, Chris Strevler, gets the touchdown for Winnipeg in short yardage. Touchdown for Strevler. Castillo comes in, hits the convert, 7-0 Winnipeg. Good stuff to see. However, the Riders very much get this going quickly. They drive the field, and then Saskatchewan gets themselves a touchdown, ties the game. I say tie the game as the conversion for Brett Lothar is good, 7-7 tie. He does hit that one. We'll get back to that later. Then, second quarter comes around. Caleros throws a pick early on, and I was just like, please don't be start of the 2024 season. Zach Caleros, that is not the Caleros we need. And then Willie Jefferson on defense would then go offside. The Riders push, and they would grab themselves another touchdown. Touchdown, Saskatchewan. Conversion is good. 14-7 Riders. Riders now with the lead. However, the Bombers come back, drive that field, and Nick Dembski with a beautiful catch for a touchdown. And just like that, midway through the second quarter, already a tie game at 14 apiece. The conversion is good, of course, which creates that. However, we then kick off, and Saskatchewan gives up a rouge. Now, if you know anything about Saskatchewan's past few games, they lost their game against Toronto with a rouge, where Harulahu doesn't hit the field goal. But it doesn't matter, as they're tied with Saskatchewan, and the single is enough to get them the win. And this is something where Saskatchewan fans online, everywhere, were pissed. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of get that. The idea of losing the game on a missed field goal is a little bit ridiculous. However, they don't give up the single like that. In this game, they give up a single. They give up a single from missing it and then taking a knee in the end zone. So there's that.
There we go. That's the single.
Alford takes a knee in the end zone for his single.
I'll take it.
15-14 now for the Bombers.
I did not expect that.
I was about
honestly.
to say.
I didn't expect that.
Saskatchewan doesn't like the rouge.
The Riders, though, despite that, then get going. And they'll only go 2 and out, though. They're not really able to force it a lot. Bombers then get possession. They push it a little bit, but then they're forced to punt. However, on the punt, Mario Alford touches it, but then it's picked up by Nick Hallett as Alford is not able to control that, and it's touchdown Winnipeg.
Touchdown! I've seen kids in Adam catch that! Let's go!
Touchdown Winnipeg. The conversion is good. 22-14 Bombers. Two touchdowns off of special teams on the punt team, being able to force that ball loose or take advantage of an opposing team's mistake and get it done. Just absolutely crazy. Tony Jones hits that ball loose last game against Hamilton. They're able to bring that back for a touchdown. Mario Alford completely just whiffs on this one. CFL had kind of a funny clip they shared on their Instagram about that. But it's touchdown Winnipeg in crazy fashion. Conversions are good. 22-14 Bombers. The Bombers would push, and then there'd be pass interference. And then they would get the ball down to the 1. But on the same play, Caleros would take a late hit. And by I mean late, I mean noticeably late, and then would just take a shoulder straight to the helmet by Brown. This is a completely dirty play. There's no question about that. And I expect the league at a minimum to give out a fine. I'm not going to lie. I think a suspension would be warranted in this instance. But I mean, it's one of those things where as Bomber fans, we think of now, this is the second straight Labor Day where Saskatchewan, not on a normal play, not on a normal tackle on the quarterback where he's just roughed up, but on a dirty play after the play, in the sense of whether it was a late hit or whether the whistle is gone and it's after the play, has taken a shot and taken out the quarterback. And I'm not going to lie, there's a part of me at this point saying, like, is this how Saskatchewan has to win Labor Day now? Do they have to just completely go headhunting? And so I was completely enraged. And I'm not going to lie, I was pretty disappointed at this point as Caleros then gets up and he is booed off the field even when he's injured. Now, again, I had kind of talked about last year how the hospitality was very, very good here in Saskatchewan. And this year, it has been more hit and miss in the sense of that there have been many, many times with a lot of people that have been very, very nice. But then there have been a decent amount, more than last year, that noticeably had been a bit classless in that instance. I'm sure there were Bomber fans who were being classless as well. It kind of goes both ways, but I'm just sharing my experience. But I was obviously very disappointed, but was at least happy to see ourselves get a touchdown. Streveler gets it done in short yardage again.
Bring it up. Make them touchdown, Winnipeg! Woo!
Conversion is good, 29-14 for Winnipeg. And at this point, this is where like me and Zach are talking, and we're like, this is like the special teams have been fantastic. Mike Miller, what he has been able to do, specifically on that punt team, that downfield coverage has just been incredible. Where they got guys going for tackles, but then they also got guys that are just laying the shoulder in, not at the head, at the chest, at the shoulder, and causing these high impact plays that are gonna get those balls loose at points. Again, not with this one. This was just them taking advantage of Mario Alford's mistake. But that's how Tony Jones got his last week. But the Riders would push. Woods would grab himself a sack, and that's it for the first half of this game. At halftime, we kind of, based on what I'd heard just online from, I think they were talking about it on the TSN panel, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I wasn't watching TSN. I was at the stadium for the game, but Collaros did not go into concussion protocol. So that kind of got me thinking, like, does he somehow come back? I don't know. But a lot of people then also noted that he was holding his arm while he was going off to the field. So possibly it was that arm that had also kind of got, at the end of the day, whether it was in the head or not, it was a big hit. So even if he does get hit in the head, it doesn't surprise me that his arm would get pretty hurt on that. But at this point, I'm hoping that Collaros comes back into the game, as if Collaros were to come back in this game, there's no question that he would be pissed off. And pissed off Collaros is the best Collaros. At last year, after he had gotten injured in the Labor Day Classic, gets an interview after the game. He is visibly furious and essentially is like, you think the league is going to do anything about it? I'm curious if they have anything like that happens into this game. It's too early to tell based on when I'm recording this. But then he came out the very next game. Banjo Bowl last year, I believe it was 51-6, I think. I can't quite remember it for sure, but it was just complete Zach Collaros revenge tour. And it was incredible. So I hope we can somehow have him back for the Banjo Bowl. But I really don't know. But Collaros is out. Streveler is going to have to get it done. Third quarter, Riders push. And then Willie Jefferson would get himself a sack. Overall, I was hoping for a little bit more from the pass rush from the defensive line. But it was enough to, grab himself a sack there. Was pleased with that. And then Brett Lothar would hit a 55-yard field goal, 29-17 for the Bombers. Streveler would then go in, and unfortunately, he struggles a bit on this first drive for Winnipeg. Bombers are forced to punt. The Riders then push the field, and then Zach Fry, offensive lineman for the Riders, their center Godwin had went down earlier. Now Zach Fry gets hurt for the Riders. Another hit to that offensive line. Obviously, those who were watching the Bombers last game know that the Bombers' offensive line was in shambles going into this game with Newfield still out, and then Bryant was out, and then Wallace, one of our backups, was out, and Eli was in. So they were pretty short on that. But they had 6 linemen dressed, and thankfully they weren't able to have any injuries for the Bombers' offensive line. But unfortunately for Saskatchewan, Zach Fry does go down for that. And actually, Zach had made a joke about how it's a tough day to be named Zach, I believe is what you said.
I'm the only one that had a good day.
Zach Nolan.
Heart attack.
Zach Nolan is the only Zach that had a good game, had a good day today. But then Brett Lothar would go in, hits a short field goal to make it 29-20 for Winnipeg. Streveler though goes in and throws a first down pass. Bombers able to push it a little bit more, and then Sergio Castillo with a 51-yard field goal makes it 32-20 Winnipeg.
go! Woo! Money!
Castillo hits the field goal, absolutely big, and then the Riders get going. They start pushing, and then there is an incredible defensive play by Evan Holm to punch the ball out of Kean Schaefer-Baker on second down and force the Riders to punt. Overall, very, very happy with that defensive play by him. And then it goes into the fourth quarter, which is where this game goes from intense to absolutely batshit insane. It goes back and forth a little bit to start the fourth quarter. The Riders drive the field, grab themselves a touchdown. Conversion is good, 32-27 Winnipeg. And then Streveler with, again, a good first down pass, able to move those chains. I was glad to see that because I'm not going to lie, I was really worried about that. And I was really worried about him throwing a pick, but thankfully he was able to do that even if his throwing was limited. We're then unfortunately forced to punt again. And then on defense, Big Hill goes down, but the Riders were forced to punt. I was at least glad when Big Hill got up that he wasn't booed off, which is good. Just at the end of the day, whenever any player goes down in injury, I think it's just really bad taste to boo him at the end of the day. So I hope for all Bomber fans, if there's any sort of Saskatchewan injury in Winnipeg, that there's no one booing that, as injuries are bad no matter who it is. But Big Hill, again, comes back in and immediately gets roughed up. And then Lucky Whitehead would then grab himself a big return.
Come on, Lucky.
Go the way! Go! Yeah! Get away, Lucky! Big return! Out of way!
Big return for Lucky Whitehead, and then the Bombers would continue to push it down, and then Fields, and when I say Fields, I don't mean the field, I mean the player Fields, who I believe is a defensive player for Saskatchewan. He then goes down, so a few injuries here for the Riders. Not their starting quarterback, but a few injuries for them nonetheless. And then Sergio Castillo, a 55-yard field goal, makes it 35-27 for the Bombers. Massive kick by Castillo. We really, really needed that. Now Saskatchewan behind by 8. They need to get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion in order to tie this game. Again, this is partially with that Rouge coming back to kind of bite them a little bit now, forcing them. They can't just go for the conversion, normal kick conversion if they get themselves a touchdown. The Riders start their drive at the 21-yard line. Good kickoff. The Riders then driving the field. I'm not going to lie. I'm starting to get worried. The Riders are getting first down after first down after first down after first down. And they just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And then there is a huge play on first down, and it is then ruled a touchdown for Saskatchewan. Touchdown for Saskatchewan. The play is reviewed, and that's, that is the verdict. And then they go for the 2-point conversion. Smart timeout call by Coach Mike O'Shea. Bless you, Zach. But because typically those timeouts, that sort of thing, ice the kicker. But in this case, ice the quarterback. If there's anything you can do to try to throw him off, do it. And so they try to ice him, and then they go for the 2-point conversion, but it is no good.
Toby Jones.
You just got Chris Strafford! Yeah! Yeah!
Conversion is no good. Saskatchewan now down by 2, 35-33. They need to hit the onside kick. as it's one of those things where we got that, and I'm like, part of my mind is thinking it's game over. And there's a lot of people who kind of start leaving. Fair enough, it's an onside kick that they need to hit. However, oh my God, I forgot about the onside kick because I just could not focus on anything. And then they go for the onside kick, and then they get it, and I'm thinking, oh no, because they're behind by 2. So a field goal not only, it doesn't just tie them, it wins them the game. They go for the onside kick, they get it, and then they go down, and it looks like it's a pick for Evan Holm, and I'm jumping up and down again. I think the game's over for the second time. But no, it's pass interference. And so I'm thinking, oh my God, like he's totally like, it's a 60-yard kick. But Lawther has hit 55 tonight. He can hit it. And then he kicks it up. It's straight. It's looking like it's going to get there. But it is short. Brett Lawther misses the 60-yard kick, which means your Winnipeg Blue Bombers come out of Saskatchewan, come out of Mosaic Stadium, the Labor Day Classic, with the victory, which is huge because the Winnipeg Blue Bombers really needed to win one of the 2 upcoming games. Tiebreaker does not really matter much against Saskatchewan because they had had a tie earlier in the season, so they're at an odd number of points. So unless we somehow get a tie in some other game at some point, which is very unlikely, again, one didn't happen, and this is the first tie in the CFL in 7 years. But I wanted to win either Labor Day or the Banjo Bowl. Am I hoping we win the Banjo Bowl? Absolutely. But one of those 2, we needed to win. So huge win for Winnipeg coming into Labor Day, and it's going to make the drive home a lot sweeter. So overall, really happy that the Bombers are able to get it done. I do want to see that defense tighten up a little bit. If we can prevent Saskatchewan from getting 30 points next game, that would be real ideal, especially if Streveler's going to be starting that game. It's really important that the Winnipeg defense is going to be able to come up. And but overall, I hope Caleros isn't out for too long, and Big Hill and everyone who is injured in this game. But I am so glad we got that win. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe if you had not already. Also check out Canadian Football Central. Link to that in the description below for league-wide CFL coverage. We have our Labor Day preview video, which I'm sure is a lot of fun. But when we do our Labor Day review, we will go through this game, all the games, will Touchdown Pacific, as well as the Labor Day Classic happening over in Hamilton between the Ticats and the Argos. That should be a fun game. So I expect that to be a long video, possibly even an hour. Would not shock me. So make sure you guys check that out. If you guys are in Saskatchewan going back to Winnipeg, have yourselves a safe drives home. Or even if you're in Saskatchewan and you're coming to Regina from somewhere else to cheer on your riders, make sure you guys have a safe drive home. You guys take care, and until next time.
Can they take the lead on this drive?